Snowden, he's in Moscow. He's in exile in Moscow. But you got to spend time with him.
I did, yeah. Before we shot, I went over to Moscow and I sat with him in an office for about 4 hours. I mean, you know, there's other places in the world where you can't stand up and say, hey, I think the government's doing something wrong. We're really lucky to get to live in countries where we can have these kind of conversations, especially here on TV. I'm really grateful. So I'm happy that he did what he did, just so that we can all be having this conversation right now.
And of course, I mean, you feel for his parents. Yes. Because obviously other people are affected, and I read, I think it was an interview you gave where you talked about meeting his parents.
Yeah. His parents came to the premiere, and this is the thing about when you play a real-life person. I don't suppose you can meet Joan of Arc's parents, but you know, you get certain feedback when you're an actor, and that's meaningful. It's meaningful when an audience likes the movie, or you know, it gets good reviews, or maybe it gets good box office or whatever, and that's all great. But when the parents of this guy who stood up for what he believed in and is now living in exile, he can't come home, his mom took me aside and was like, you reminded me of my son. And his dad took me aside and he made sure to look me in the eye and he said, I want to thank you for what you did, because I know this was risky for you and you're gonna, you know, some people aren't gonna like you for it, but I really appreciate you doing this for my son. And I mean, I've never received feedback like that for an acting job that I did.
It really means something.
It meant so much to me. It really made my year to have those moments with his parents.
And isn't there some hope that Obama one of the last things he does might be to pardon him?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of important and influential human rights groups like Amnesty International and the ACLU that have appealed to President Obama to pardon Edward Snowden, because, you know, ultimately what he did was a great service to the country and to the world. You know, whether Obama will do that or not remains to be seen.
Yeah. I would say that one of the last things Obama will have done in office is to give Mr. Tom Hanks the highest civilian honor in America, the Medal of Freedom.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, congratulations.
Did you meet him?
The man himself?
Obama, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've met him a couple of times.
You have?
He's the coolest dude in the room, man.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I would really like to meet
He
that
is so much the man. It's crazy.
And it's one of those things, because you have had so many awards, like, what does that mean?
It's mind-numbing. You know, it's the Medal of Freedom, which means somehow, it's funny, talking about what you're doing with Edward Snowden. There is this, look, we have something which is the freedom that you're talking about. And I guess it's a look at the work that I've done that has both celebrated it and promoted it and tried to protect it as well. So I can, look, I'm with Admiral Grace Potter, the scientist who literally measured out the nanosecond. Her, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, me. Nice. This is a pretty good spread.
Wow. So, it's quite good company, yeah.
Rubbing elbows at the buffet. Looking pretty good.
Yeah, back in a nanosecond.
Yeah.
The filmmaker Michael Moore, who actually did call out this whole election. I mean, he kind of saw how it was panning out. Yeah. He's now said, and he said that he wants you.
You know, I thought he was deranged. Was not deranged right up until he said that.
He wants you to run as president.
Yeah, okay, all right, fine. Yeah.
He says you're the only hope.
Oh, please. Oh, dear Lord.
It's just 4 years of your life. Do it, Tom.
Yeah.
If you cared, you'd do it.
I'm not qualified to be the president of the Three Stooges fan club. But
well,
I might take that job.
Graham Norton here. If you'd like to see even more stuff like that, then hit subscribe. Or don't. It's a free world. But I know what I'd do in that situation.